It's the weekend. It's Mailbag this week. I am joined by Pete, Dave, and Matt. Before we get into the questions, Dave has gone a plug. gonna plug a show that will be on this evening, which is Friday evening. If you listen to it on Sunday, it was up Friday evening. You've probably seen it already. Dave, go on.
And yeah, if you haven't listened to it before we go to Brentford, that's referred to quite a lot in this. Anyway, it's an interview I've done with Andrew Gower, who I presume most people will have heard of some of the work that he's done, both as an actor and as a musician as well. He's been on loads of different things on the telly, ITV, BBC programmes, Amazon stuff. If you'll find that out anyway on the podcast that we're going to put out tonight. Also, he's a massive Blue, otherwise I wouldn't be speaking to him, I don't think. And as a musician, his group is called Gustafsson, and they're absolutely brilliant. Don't just take my view of it, go and listen to it, because he's really, really good. He's doing loads of stuff in and around the Northwest, obviously Liverpool. He's doing loads of stuff down south as well. So do give it a listen. He's got a pretty interesting career that he's had, both as a musician and an actor. He's a scouser as well, so it'd be great if we give him some support. So do give it a listen when you can.
Yeah, nice one, Dave. That will be on YouTube and on all the pods. Right, we'll get into the questions. So first up, Matt, I'll come to you on this one. What's your very, very topical from Foxy? What's your favourite triple-digit number?
137.
Any reason or?
It's the inverse of something in physics called the fine structure constant, and it's one of those numbers that's in everything, and it's just brilliant. And there's like a weird, convoluted, kind of boring story about a famous physicist called Enrico Fermi, I believe it was. I might have just shit my pants there, but I'm pretty sure it was. And he was obsessed with this number, and then on his deathbed, he discovered he was in hospital room 137, totally by accident, and he just sent his head west, and then he died.
Oh, wow. Because of the revelation, or just for what he was in for?
Just that he spent like his whole life obsessed with this number and trying to figure out why it is. Like this, it's like a really one of them long like decimal numbers, but it's basically 1/137, and it's like in everything.
And just 10 short of a maximum break in snooker as well. You know, makes you think, doesn't it? Pete, got a favourite three-digit number?
How do I follow that up? 101, because my birthday is the 10th of the 1st. So 101. For no other reason than it's just 10 and 1 are like my lucky numbers. So 101. That'll do.
Yeah.
I have nothing more. I can't compete with what Matt just said. And that's what I'm going to be Googling as soon as we finish. And then I'm going to end up in a rabbit hole. And you won't see me till next week.
Fair enough. We'll miss you though.
Yeah.
Dave, favourite triple-digit number?
Yeah, I'm quite anxious at this because people are going to think it's like codes for whatever you've got, if it's part of your bank account or anything like that. So this question is a bit risky, but I've got two answers. So one of them will be obvious to you when I say it immediately, and it's 316. Come on, surely.
Wrestler.
I'm going to smash a glass. Someone smash a glass.
That's it, yeah. 316 for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the other one, much the same way I think Matt referred to his in the sort of intelligence that is around it. Mine is 112, and that is due to the Fibonacci sequence, which
okay.
I'd like to think most people have heard about what that is.
Yeah, no? I think so. I mean,
everyone Googling it there. Let's defo Googling it.
No, I'm not. No, I was going to say, so everyone's either heard of it or read or seen the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's huge in that.
Someone will stumble across it at some point.
Yeah. So add the first two letters together and you'll get the third, and then just keep doing that and doing that and doing that, and then you get a specific number.
There we go. That's it. That was a lot better than I thought it'd be. Actually, I'm going to say mine's 777.
Is that where the question came? I was trying to figure out where that question came from. But
come on, Pete. Fucking hell.
So, no, because my birthday is 1977, and I want a place in the lounges at the new ground. So there you go, 777.
You were never born in 1977.
Well,
you were never born in 1977, were you?
I was.
It's a common theme that we tend to have,
Basic.
don't we? Every time I'm on this, to tell you how young you look.
I killed off Elvis. He couldn't cope with me being in the world, and then died a few months later. Mike,
I've got to make a correction, Les. I did make a
Okay.
twat to myself. It wasn't Enrico Fermi, it was Wolfgang Pauli. I always get them mixed up. Just the
you
names.
look the same.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
You can't tell them apart usually. It's fine. Mike, right, this is quite depressing from Mike. So he's asked, my question from the eve of the season, repeated please, and edited a bit below. Can I have it repeated each week until it happens? Who will score our first home goal? So we said goal at the start of the season. So who's going to score our first home goal? When will our first 3 points come? And how many games without a win will cause a mass panic? We could go in reverse here. Are we already in a mass panic? Some people probably are.
Yeah.
I don't think we are we?
Nah.
I'm not.
I'm not. I think some people are, but I'm not.
You seriously, 3 of you are not panicking the way we are?
Nah.
No.
With it. Oh.
The underlying numbers look much better than they did in the last 2 seasons.
And if you think about Dice's intricate style of football, it's going to take a while to bet in, isn't it? So, gotta be patient.
I've had enough of this fella. I've had enough. I want him out now.
We can't afford to sack him. Who's going to sack him?
I don't
You
care.
can't sack a manager in installments, Dave.
He's just coming out with the worst shit. And we've had many managers, haven't we, in recent years who just come out with shit. But this fella talking about fitness again, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, he must have these lads running up and downhill all over the city. And yet, they still play shit and look knackered. So I don't want him, mate. I think he's a joke.
So you're panicking?
I'm not panicking. I just want him out. Yeah, I am panicking. Because I think we'll lose against Brentford, and I think the biggest 6-pointer is Luton at home.
Yeah.
And even if we win that, it's only putting Luton below us, which they are anyway. Is that right? They're below us anyway.
Yeah, so, the only one without a point, aren't they? So here we go.
Someone has to be.
Yeah. I'm desperately concerned right now. Who've we got after Luton?
I'll have a look now.
Bournemouth.
But I think Mike's
on the spot there.
Got Bournemouth and the derby.
What could possibly go wrong?
And we've got the Villa game as well, somewhere in between all that.
Oh, that could do one, mate. Us 4 should be playing in that. That can't take any sort of priority, can it?
Imagine our first 3 points of the season at Anfield, though.
Oh, I don't think I'd like to wait that long, though. I think panic would have set in by then.
Yeah, well, if we were guaranteed to go down, if someone said to you, you're definitely going down, I'd absolutely just take that as our only 3 points, and then we go down.
Just get that monkey off our back again.
Oh, do you know what? I forgot to tell you. By the way, this probably links. I've currently got COVID. It's not a bad version of that, but because nowadays you can just go anywhere with it and all that, can't you? And I feel a little bit irresponsible if I do that. But COVID, no less, was when we actually got our greatest ever performance at Anfield, wasn't it? So if this is on its way back and we get 3 points from it at Anfield, I can cope with that.
It'll be down to you.
Yeah, how good was that night, mate? How good was that night? That Richarlison goal.
That was great. Well, yeah.
Some other fella scored the pen, didn't he?
Yeah. So I've always my benchmark moving on. My benchmark for panicking is it's the 94-95 season when we had 9 points going into the derby in November. I just looked at when that was. It was actually the 21st of November as well. So it was late in November and we were on 9 points. Now we're headed for that now. I think so. I think if we get to the end of October, when funnily enough West Ham's one of our last games as it was that year as well. We played them on the 1st of November, got them on the 29th of October this year. That got us to 6 points. I think. Oh, anyway, no, we beat West Ham then. But basically, if we go into November on 9 points or less, I will definitely be panicking then.
We won the cup that season.
Yeah,
sorry,
we did.
Well, my version, my thing about this panic thing is that I've been in a constant state of panic, if you like, for 2.5 years now. Have you ever seen the Avengers? Right, and Hulk has this thing where he can't control being Hulk, and then in the Avengers film, he just figures out how to do it, and he says, "How did you manage to control your anger and when you're able to control it. And he turns around and says, "I'm always angry." And I feel like that's me now. I've been in such a constant state of panic that it just doesn't faze me anymore. Like, if you want to see real panic, like, I'm
Les?
so far beyond it.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, so all week I've done the pods because Matt's been away, so I've done several pods, which I hope every single person's listened to. But also I've said and mentioned on everyone when you just mention what's coming forward, what's next on the Blue Room, and I said, Les has got the mailbag. It's going to make us all happy and smile and all that. How long are we in here? 10 minutes or so?
Well, I've got a plan, you see. I've got a plan.
Oh,
I'm going to get the Everton questions out the way. So, Matt, I don't think you'll panic ever, will you, Matt?
No.
He's got to be one of the
things I can't control.
You've got to be one of the most mellow person I think I've ever met in my life, mate. I've never, ever, ever seen you panic, ever.
No,
like your face right now is calming me down. Honestly.
I don't worry about things I can't control. Simple as that.
It's an excellent way of looking at life, but it's really, really difficult to do that.
Right, on to other stuff. When will our first 3 points come?
Fucking hell.
Luton.
Tomorrow.
I like it. Pete?
I think Luton. I think we've got a chance of snatching the draw at least tomorrow, though. Got a chance, haven't we? But I think Luton. I think Luton will beat Luton. He
Dave?
says.
Panics.
Bournemouth.
When's that then after Luton?
Yeah.
What do you reckon we'll draw against Luton?
I was going to say, I think 2 draws. So we'll have 3 points then, won't we, by the time we play Bournemouth, and probably be adrift in the bottom 3. But if we went short, if I said to you 5 points in those next 3 games, would you take it?
Brentford, Luton, no, I think I'd gamble it.
You'd take 6 then, wouldn't you? You certainly wouldn't take. There wouldn't be 9 on offer there. Surely.
I'd want 7.
7. So you want to draw tomorrow and 2 home wins?
Draw to Brentford. 6 at least, but then draw to Brentford, beat the other 2.
I'm getting massive Brighton away vibes from Brentford tomorrow, like last season.
Be nice, that.
Did we beat them last season away?
Brighton.
Yeah, sorry, not Brighton. You mean the play like we did at Brighton?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All we need is for the Corey to not take a second touch ever, and we can do that. If that lad just
Ashley Young to not take a corner.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Ashley Young not to play. He shouldn't be playing.
Did you see that stat that we've got the tallest team in the league? Our set pieces are absolutely rank. Christ. And finally, who will score our first goal at home? Beto, Luton. Yes.
Beto, yeah.
Dave?
I think Dom.
Ross Barkley on goal.
Yeah.
An own goal would sum it up, wouldn't it?
I think Calvert-Lewin, because he looks like Zorro when he comes on the pitch with that thing on his face. I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to stay fit for a while, and I think he could well be our saviour. I've started, dare to say it, to doubt Beto because
come on
already.
Come on,
his first touch is wank.
Oh, come
on. His first touch is exactly why we've got him. That's why we've got him, because of that first touch. I'm not saying like he needs to redeem himself when he touches the ball, and then he's fine because he's quick. On the other side, where I feel sorry for him is we can't really play to his strengths because we're crap. I don't know if he can head the ball either, but yeah, he's given me some strange feelings towards him. To be honest with you, how much have we paid for him? $5 a week, is it?
Yeah, about that. Guys, a bit trigger happy today, Dave.
I know, mate. I know. I'm letting it all go. Just like you're doing all the Everton chat and getting it out of the way. I'm doing the Everton frustration. Getting them out of the way.
Just let everyone know these are the views of Dave Downey and not everyone on the show. There we go. This should brighten everyone up. Jay has asked if you could bring back any one ex-Everton player at their prime, whether that was when they were at Everton or not. Oh God, that's interesting. Who would it be? Would you want to bring Garza? There's a typo. to bring some spark to our midfield, or maybe Eto up front, or a defender like Radcliffe. Yeah, there you go. Should we just go Everton? Because I think if you throw it out to any
too
player
easy
ever,
other way, isn't it?
it's a bit like...
Yeah, because we signed that many players who've like Ginola. Ginola was absolutely useless for us, but he was an absolute animal everywhere else.
Yeah, let's narrow it down to Everton players then, or somebody who played for us.
Do you know what? I'd go for someone like Dave Watson, like just a leader, just a full leader, or Kanchelskis. I've got him, hung up behind me there. Andrei Kanchelskis. I always go back to Andrei Kanchelskis because it's an easy option, isn't it? But if not going for someone, I'd say Dave Watson, just to have that leader in the dressing room, and he was like a proper defender, and I think he'd give everyone in that dressing room a kick up the arse.
Yeah, that's what the team needs now, isn't it? Definitely. And a Kanchelskis. Every team needs a Kanchelskis. Dave?
I'd go Lukaku, because I think in the Premier, I'd Kev Campbell's close second maybe. I'm just talking about strikers who we've actually lifted us up a sincere amount of quality in the Premier League. And I know I'll get people who are listening to this screaming Big Dunk, but Big Dunk was more, well, he was in an era where we were an absolute pile of shite, and he was able, he actually lifted us himself, but he didn't actually have to do what the quality of the other two that I've just mentioned did do for us. So I'm going to go for Lukaku, who's going to be top of my list there, because when we got him in, when we got him on loan, I just thought we had someone that I'd not seen before, someone who could do what he did. He had everything, every tool you want from a striker. He was quick. He was everything that we're all open Bethos like, really, isn't he? Really quick.
Even right down to the first touch.
Exactly. I was going to say, his first touch was a bit crap. Who was it who said that to us, by the way? Oh, yeah, it was the Italian lads we had on to talk about him. And
he did, didn't he?
He said exactly that. He went,
so he's planted the seed. That's what's happened.
Shit first touch, but he can run all day for you. Love a bit of that. But you couldn't really say that about Lukaku, because he didn't run all day for us. But he was just a lot. Yeah,
his first touch was, he got hounded by Evertonians for his first touch.
If only that was all we had left to moan about these days, eh? But yeah, when we got him in, and when I was there that night, that we got given the document to Finch Farm there to interview him, and it was 28 million quid. I remember looking at it and saying, 28 million quid. When's the last time we spent 28 million quid on a player? Lo and behold, what was to come after that? We spent a lot more of that on players that didn't go anywhere near how good Lukaku was for us. So yeah, he's top of my list.
Yeah, good shout, Matt.
It's going to be Marouane Fellaini in his last season for us. Ooh. He will transform our team right now.
Yeah, it's a shout that.
He will be like the key that would unlock everything to take us up to the glorious heights of 12.
There's a few interesting names here that haven't even merely been mentioned. You think like Cahill, Baines, Arteta. But then I suppose we're talking about ones that like dramatically change it. Probably Cahill's the only one you'd include.
Yeah, I think for me it'd be Rooney.
Yeah.
I think throw Rooney into a half decent team.
Would that change what the question you're on about, Les? Because Rooney didn't do the best of his career at Everton, obviously, because he got off before he had puberty. But is that part of the question that you can say?
Oh no, I just thought any ex-Everton player
then that's fair enough. Yeah,
at the prime at Everton.
I played against him at 14. I can guarantee you. I think he had puberty at 10.
Well, that's it, isn't it? When you see him at 16 and you see him at 17 at the Euros, and it's like, that's not a 16, 17-year-old kid.
No. I played against him at 14 and he was built like a grown man. Ridiculous.
He was just built like a metal cube. Like the shape he was in, he was just a block.
He was just
dead
good as well. Like, it's not just like, he wasn't just a battering ram, was he? He was just genuinely amazing.
Everything. Yeah.
No, but surely that's the only one that is not actually a hypothetical, because we did have the best Everton version of Rooney in a shit side, and we finished 17th.
Well, I was going to come back to that.
That's a very good point.
Season. but the season before,
we finished 7th that year. He was still with us, didn't we?
yeah, that's
We needed to
definitely
beat United on the final day. I remember that.
a lot of shit happened at Everton that year, seemingly, before he left. But yeah, that'll be mine. I think Rooney's peak at United, playing for Everton all day. Liam has asked, interesting one because I can't actually remember what he did. Would Stephen Hughes get a game in this team? The fact that I'm asking tells you how bad we are at the minute. He'd probably run that midfield now, wouldn't he? I can't even remember what he was like. I can't actually remember seeing him.
Awful. I know he scored. He scored a decent goal quite early on at Goodison in the Gladys Street end. I remember him scoring. Decent left foot on him. But he was just, I don't even know whether it was just down to injuries or what, but he turned up at Everton and he just looked like a shell. Like he came with a decent reputation as well. It was a bit like Richard Wright, where Arsenal were like, yeah, they're great, these two. And then we just, like, I think we paid some decent money for him at the time as well. Like not like loads, but, you know, sort of 3-4 million quid. And I think he was brought in with high hopes and he just wasn't that good at all. I think he played about 30 odd games, didn't he, and didn't do much. But I'd say I just remember him scoring a decent little left footer in the Gladys Street end after about 5 games in, and then nothing else.
It peaked at the Belfield tree, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I was going to say, just get him back in so that he can score a goal and then celebrate by leaning on Beto like the tree.
Yeah, yeah. It's he's sort of, I mean, I think puberty's we're talking about puberty quite a lot on this show, but he didn't look like he hit puberty. Did you not think he looked like a baby? Just well, anyway, he was shite, but I think he's slightly better. I think he's better than Amadou Onana.
He looks very lightweight.
I think he's better.
Obviously, I don't remember him playing, but from the pictures, he looks very lightweight.
Yeah,
for a top flight footballer.
Yeah, I'm saying, he's better than the current £33 million midfielder that we've got.
Pulling no punches tonight, Dave.
I know, mate. I'm going to get flated about that when he goes and bangs one in against Brentford tomorrow.
If he does, I reckon it'll be all the grief he's had on the Blue Room this week. Not grief. People just, saying we want more. It's fine. You can demand more. You should always demand more. Even if they're that good, demand more.
Stephen Hughes would have scored twice.
Exactly, yeah.
He can't head the ball. He's the tallest player we've got, isn't he? Well, probably apart from Beto now. We can't head it. He can't
good
head
feet
it.
for a big man, though.
He's what?
He's got good feet for a big man, though.
Fucking hell, yeah. That's all he's got.
Right, you'll be glad to know that is the end of the Everton bit. So if you're not into the rest of it, you can switch off now. If you are, we'll go into the hot topic. What's the strangest injury you've ever had? Anyone know what news story this is from? I will be surprised if you do.
Is it me?
No, well, you the first person that popped into my head. We'll go into that now.
Well, who asked the question?
No, it's the hot topic, so it's mine.
Oh, right.
I brought this back the other week at Warren's request. But as soon as I thought of this question, I thought of you straight away, so I'll come to you first on it. The question is actually from the news story of the Towie star who reveals Burns' injury after gravy spill. So
was it in KFC?
I don't know, but it was really hot gravy, apparently. I mean, on the face of it, quite a serious story. But, Towie star getting injured after a gravy spill is objectively quite funny. So yeah, look that one up if you want, but that's where the story comes from. But got an even better one from Matt Plus. Now, first, Matt, is this the strangest injury you've ever had?
Good question. Probably. Other than this scar here, is it on the eye? Yeah. Which people always think is from some kind of like barb roll or something, and it's just I lost the fight with the tailgate of a Fiat Punto.
Oof.
And yeah, I just turned my head and walked into it, and then it was just when I felt innocuous, and then all of a sudden, blood pouring down.
It's a good one, though, that you can embellish if you need to, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I had one where my best mate both in school went down to pick up the same bouncy ball and clashed heads, and then I ended up sitting in English class with like blood trickling down my face until the teacher noticed. It took about 15 minutes. It was quite funny. Another one where I banged my head on the top of the door going out of school and ended up with a big triangle of blood pouring down my face, which is just sort of dabbed and then... Had to get the train home,
with door frames.
and everyone was giving me funny looks because I had like dried blood all over my face in a school uniform, but I was like 6'5".
Sounds like you spend quite a bit of time bleeding from the head, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's so chilled.
Actually, no, that's not my most serious one's on the back. When I was 3, I was coming back from Chester Zoo, and I was sat, on the back of a bus where the step goes up. I was right on the aisle seat of that next to my mum, and it goes around the corner sharply, and I go flying off it, hit the step at the back of my head, blood everywhere. One of the other parents there, who was used to be a nurse or something, just grabbed my head and put it straight to her chest to stop the bleeding until we got to Arrow Park.
Bloody hell.
Got a big scar there at the back. Hit me right in the brainstem.
Jesus.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, could have been grim, that.
Yeah.
So, I think all that explains quite a lot.
Oh, that's the one that gave you your superpowers, though, that injury.
Essentially, yeah.
I think so. So this latest one, then?
So the latest one, I was practicing for the Denby cricket match, and I was showing the gaffer my brutal bomber fast bowling action outside the pub, and on the follow through, I caught the edge of my foot right on a pothole. I was like, yeah. Oh. All the ligaments pulled so hard, it pulled off a piece of bone with it. It's called an avulsion fracture. So, and I missed the cricket because I was in A&E all day. Very sad.
And you're on sticks until?
I'm on one stick for the next few weeks. I can still get about. But yeah, codeine is a wonderful thing.
Also why he's so chilled.
Yeah. And there can't be
I haven't had one today.
There can't be many midnight cricket injuries either. There we are.
No, well, ask Johnny Bairstow.
Dave?
Yeah, it was a strange one. Probably doesn't sound as strange, but so my brother-in-law, or he wasn't at the time, he was just my sister's boyfriend. I was pissing about fighting with him, and bear in mind, obviously, I'm a big fella. I wasn't particularly as big as I am these days. Back then, this is about, I don't know, I was about 14, and he's 6'4", built like a shit house. He's not a chunky fella like me either. He's well brought out. And I was on the stairs in our house, and I said to him, I'll bet you the tenner that I can lift you up. And he said, there's no way you're lifting me up. I said, I reckon I can have you on my shoulders. So I was sat on the stairs, and he said, all right. He went, great, I'll have you the tenner for that. So he went, how do you want to do it? He went, do you need me to stand up high so I can get onto your shoulders? I said, well, we're on stairs here. So you get on the couple of steps above me, and then put one leg round my neck and then the other one, and then I'll stand up. So he went and done it, and as soon as he set any weight onto my neck, I felt it go really, really, the sharp, horrible pain that shot through the back of my neck, and I couldn't move it. I was struggling to move my arms and my legs at the time. And I was thinking, have I just been crippled? Does this mean I'm not going to be able to do anything? And mate, I'm not joking. I could barely walk, barely get down the stairs. I rang an ambulance, and I was crying with pain to go and get in that ambulance. And I was for about 4 or 5 days after it. He injected me with painkillers, and they asked me how I did it. And every time I said it, even though I was 14 years old, I was like, that's really, really embarrassing, that, isn't it? And he obviously had to be there. And then I thought, hang on, it's going to sound worse for him that he sat on the neck of a 14-year-old lad.
Yes.
Yeah, sat in for Zachley Hospital for, pretty much overnight. And then when I was getting home, I had a collar on, but I had to lean my neck in one direction. So I looked like a fucking idiot, to be honest with you. And it was well deserved after what I've just said. It was cured over.
Yeah, sounds terrifying, though. I once my mate's brother on his head after gorilla pressing him, which wasn't my proudest moment. Right, we are almost out of time for this bit. So, Pete, I will come to yours, and we'll have mine after the break. Yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. We are back. Thanks for your patience there. Before the break, Matt was telling us about several head injuries and a bad ankle injury he's got. Dave was telling us about a bad neck injury he got. Pete, the question was, what's the strangest injury you've ever had?
I mean, I've had quite a lot of injuries, to be fair, over the years. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a strange injury, but it was kind of strange what happened after it because I used to do like used to work in a bar in Spain every summer when I was a kid. My mate had a bar over there. I used to go and work there, and we had a footy team. And I probably shouldn't have been doing that, to be fair, because like I didn't have like a working visa or anything, but so we were playing footy, and I basically got taken out. The cut inside got taken out, went arse over tit, landed on my shoulder, and my shoulder it was like instant agony. And it was right next door to an ambulatorio, which is like a walk-in centre basically. And I went in, and they thought I dislocated my shoulder. So then and obviously I didn't speak much Spanish, so we had someone else sort of translating for me. And the next thing, these two guys, who didn't look like doctors, to be fair, I don't even know whether they just like come in to do a delivery or something, but they got a sheath and like wrapped it round really tight and put it round my neck, and then started trying to manipulate my shoulder back in, like pulling it, like telling me it was going to hurt, it was really going to hurt. So they tried to pop my shoulder back in, thinking it was dislocated. Tried that a good few times. It was absolute agony. I could feel like something popping, but it wasn't going in. So eventually they decided to, at that point, they gave me a painkiller after they tried to yank my arm back into place.
Nice, cheers, lads.
Which was a case of, drop your trousers, big needle, somewhere you don't want a needle. So that was interesting. And then I got to, I had to make my way to Malaga to get an X-ray, and it turned out I'd broken my collarbone. So when they were trying to pop my shoulder back in because they thought it was dislocated, it wasn't. It was a broken collarbone. So I ended up having to, I had to fly home because at that point I was thinking I need to get home and get to like Walton or somewhere because I think my faith in the Spanish doctors was slightly degraded by that point. So yeah, I had to blag my way onto the airplane because you're not technically meant to fly when you've got like a broken bone. So I had like a little sling because that's all they kind of do, just put you in a sling. And I had to sort of blag my way through onto the plane to get home. Went to the Walton and got another X-ray, and then they confirmed there was a big gap on the X-ray. You can actually see like a big crack on my collarbone. When I explained it to the doctors, they were just like, that must have been horrific. And yeah, it was. Another Spanish-related one, just a random injury. Where the apartment was, like where they used to go, there's like these steps going up, and there used to be like loads of little feral cats everywhere. And like some people would leave food out for the cats, which you're told not to do. And basically, as I'm walking up, so one of the neighbours in like the floor below us had left some food out for the cats. And as I've started walking up the stairs, me and my mates, this cat basically absolutely shit itself and jumped. But like, rather than jump onto the stairs, it jumped onto my head and like and attached itself to my ear. So I've still got like a scar on my ear because I sort of have to like flick it off. I felt terrible as well because a proper, big, better weather. But yeah, the little cat was all right, thankfully, but my ear wasn't. So there's two random and also holiday related, random injuries.
Good one. Well, good too. Mine is, it's not, it's strange the way it happened. So I've got a little scar on my lip there. I don't remember it, but I was about maybe 2, maybe 3. And my mum and dad both told me that an ornament fell off the shelf and just broke in midair and just like clipped me mouth and cut me and like started bleeding. It like left the scar, didn't need a stitch in, but left the scar. But yet no one knows why this ornament broke in midair. It was all very spooky. It just came apart. And obviously we had some quality porcelain ornaments in the 80s. Clearly not that good quality though. Laura, question for Flusk. What is a hydrocarbon? Correct answers only, please.
This comes from the quiz on Wednesday, which we won.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah. The question was, what is a hydrocarbon? And I put a compound that's composed of hydrogen, carbon, and other elements. And the supposedly correct answer was composed of hydrogen and carbon and nothing else.
Oh.
I still dispute it, but there we are.
So
That wasn't the biggest howler from the quiz. No, there was one about James Bond, which Dave Humphries got very angry about. Because the Quizmaster thought Dr. No came out in 1958 and it was 1962. We both knew it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
I saw he tweeted that picture, stop getting Bond wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you Google first Bond film, it comes up in big letters, Dr. No, 1958. That's when the novel came out.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right.
Quizmaster not doing his job there, is he at all?
He's a good lad, really. We've won twice on the run, so
Can't complain then. Definitely not.
Oh, yeah. Shut up, Laura.
What's that?
Shut up, Laura.
Yeah, well, back to Laura again. Who do you think would make the best secret weapon in a pub quiz team? Hint, answer is me, meaning her, not me. Would you agree?
She attributed that to me. It was her who said it. I didn't actually use those words, but she was very good, very useful. All the questions that she chimed in with, no one else knew the answer, and she got it fast, and everyone else, so we got double points.
Good stuff.
So she pulled her weight very well.
Yeah, she's
nice.
Not just a hat stand. And we'll throw this out to everyone. How many pub quizzes do you reckon you can win in a row? So you're already on 2. Can you get the hat trick, Matt?
Well, no, because I'm at Villa on Wednesday.
Oh,
I know.
Oh,
Although technically, if I then win it the week after that,
well, if
3 in a row.
If none of you turn up,
yeah. Well, I told them they've got to turn up to keep the pride.
And
you can't lose if you're not there. So
yeah, exactly.
This is true. Pete, how many do you reckon you could win on the bounce? I don't even think I could win one.
See, you talk about secret weapons. I know I might seem like potentially not the most intelligent person in this conversation, clearly, but I'm actually quite good at quizzes. But it's always like the really sort of random stuff. So yeah, I've won my fair share of pub quizzes over time, over the years. I think I'd be all right. It depends on where it is as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, some pub quizzes are just ridiculous.
Yeah. I used to go to one in Penny Lane, the Penny Lane Wine Bar, and it was literally, you'd have like professional quizzes going in there. I remember going in there once, and it was, this is when I was like in my early 20s. And we all thought we'd go in there and be all right and go in. And then we saw like 5 of our teachers from our old school all in a quiz team. It was like the history teacher, the geography. And we were like, what's going on here? Like,
there's some kind of joke.
Yeah, literally. And it was like, what is happening? So yeah, I think it would depend on where the quiz was held and what the quiz was about. But I'd fancy my chances. If we got a little blue room quiz team.
We have with the Blue Room Buttes.
There's one at the Denby.
Oh, clearly I haven't been invited, have
I? Dave?
Yeah, mate, I absolutely adore quizzes. Absolutely love them. Love general knowledge stuff. Useless general knowledge stuff unless you are in the middle of a quiz. Obviously the sports stuff, given jobs and career, I fancy myself with that side of things. But yeah, I think in general knowledge and the random stuff, like Matt was talking there about the Bond question, stuff like that, or films. So yeah, I'd like to fancy my chances there without sounding like a massive ego idiot. I think I'd be all right.
Maybe this is something we should do.
Since they've started, I'd then be given the nights that they're on be an awkward time for me to get to, but honestly, I really want to get over to do one. Are they on every single week, Matt?
Wednesdays, 8 p.m.
Every week?
Unless there's a
game on
particular football match, yeah. If there's like a midweek Premier League game or something. Apparently, they were worried they might clash with Liverpool Champions League games, but that's not an issue this year, so.
Well, I'm definitely not going to do it on a Thursday night either, are they?
But there are actually some Europa games on Wednesdays, aren't there, sometimes, so you never know. But yeah they'll just move it. They won't cancel it, they'll just move it to another day if that happens.
Well, that's it. Fancy going over, lads, and having a go?
Yeah. Definitely. I can have some of that.
Yeah, be up for that.
It gets silly amount competitive though, won't it?
Oh, I'm awful. I
Blue
am
Moon
awful.
members.
I snarled at Connor on Wednesday.
What, for the wrong answer? Or
No, for getting us dock points for heckling the Quizmaster.
What are the prizes?
It's cash pot.
Oh,
It's not even the tab, yeah.
wow.
It's just a cash
Okay.
pot. So it's £2 a head, and then it's just winner takes all. He sometimes brings like second place prize. But yeah.
Well up for that. Well up for that, Les.
So last week we got 90. This week we got about 66, I think.
And how many of you were in your team?
4 of us this week, 2 of us last week.
Happy days, mate. That's a good few quid.
So
isn't
you
it?
went from 90. You went from 90 to 67 from foot. But with the 90, you had 2 of you, and then you went down to 67 with 4 of you. Is that right?
That was the total pot. That wasn't what we got each.
Oh, so I thought you meant like the answers. I was going to say you need to chip off the other 2.
Oh no. Score wise, like it's you end up like 800 points because it's like 10 for a right answer and then double points if you get it fastest. It's one of them phone ones rather than writing it down.
Oh,
so no one can cheat.
Mate, I'm well up for this. Up for it. It'd be great night.
It's a really well run quiz. It's run by a lad called Al. He used to do Flying the Loaf and then Lady Man before that. He's been doing
I've seen the advert. Yeah.
everyone down there?
Twitter. Yeah, mate, I'm up for it. Well up for it.
If you're listening and you fancy a pub quiz straightener, get down there. More pub quiz questions. What's the correct this is Maggie. What's the correct course of action when Pub Quiz Master has told you you're wrong when you are absolutely correct? Maybe don't heckle him.
Yeah, you've got to do it the right way. He's very vengeful. Like he can turn the whole room against you. We got booed when we won. And then I was kind of like, pack it in, stop it. But yeah.
Is there a sizable crowd there, Matt, as well?
Well, you can work it out by the pot. So it was 33 people this week. And there was like 45 odd last week.
Good that.
Yeah. So it's not bad. It wasn't bad considering it was the first one. But
yeah.
In Maggie's case, it was charging over to him and passing him straight to his face. So
is he going to come back?
She was right to. She literally worked for the company that made the product that the answer was based on. So
wow.
last one from Maggie and last one on pub. Oh no, it's not the last one from Maggie. It's the last one on pub quizzes though. What's the best pub quiz team name you've heard?
Oh, mate, that's a great question, but it's one of those that you need time to look for.
So I know Dargan's pub quiz team is or was called Gobshites. What a nice name.
One just popped into my head from the other day, from our Walnut Blues chat. There's a lad called Dylan, he's a boss lad. But he's only like in his early 20s, but he looks 50. And his he did the pub quiz the other week, and their team name was Alan Brazil. I think Alan Brazil is here, and basically it's because Dylan is like the absolute image of Alan Brazil, and he just gets ripped all the time for it. So shout out Dylan, I say. This lad, by the way, just to put him into context, we went to Young Boys away. It's the first time I saw him. I think he must be late 20s now, surely, because he was only young then, and he was stood on the bus with like a pint of rum and coke or something, and the bus slammed on, like proper slammed on this like European motorway. And it was just one of them where you just think he's going to like break his leg. He's going to go flying through the windscreen. He managed to fall backwards onto his back, but managed to not spill a drop of his drink. And it's the most impressive. It's the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. I swear. I always say to him, this lad he could fall asleep with a pint in his hand and be fully aware of where his pint is. He's one of them. But yeah, great lad, but looks like Alan Brazil. So there you go.
Can hold a pint as well. I think I'd have to be mine. I've just seen one here. Les Quizerables. That'd have to be mine.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
I had Eddie Quizzard.
Quizakabusi's another one as well.
And the other one, proper Harry Potter geek. You're a Quizzard, Harry. I thought that was a belter.
One I used to use a few years ago when it was still topical was so-called Quizlam Estate.
Quiz Tarrant.
Do you remember when the Reds started putting those stickers about town that looked like ISIS things?
That's time ago, that, isn't it? How long
Yeah.
ago was that?
That was fun. I just remember seeing him now in town. It was it was a very odd vibe, I've got to say.
What, like the black flag with the quote in the middle?
Yeah. But with I don't know, some sort of profound statement on it. Very, very odd behaviour, that. Really odd.
Yeah, who put like random messages on black on black sheets, bed sheets, and throw them around.
next to it.
Very odd. Maybe it was before ISIS got a bad reputation. Maybe that's why ISIS have got a bad reputation, because the Reds started copying them. Who knows? Warren has asked, what's the most unbelievable yet true excuse you've had or you've heard someone else? Sorry, I'll start that again. What is the most unbelievable yet true excuse you've had or you have heard someone else have for being late? There we go. What's the worst excuse you've ever heard for someone being late? Could be yours, could be someone else's.
Tough one, that, you know. That's
Sure,
hard one.
Either. We'll come back to it. We'll have a think.
Come back to that one, yeah.
I think that's the first time no one's coming with an answer on this.
Jonathan's
that's because everyone's worried in case they grass themselves up for the time that they just blagged about being late somewhere.
Jonathan's asked, have you ever been described as a sideshow clown on someone else's podcast? What's this from, a mister? Can we say?
I think we can say it because
context for this one.
I have no idea.
So Keith
involved
put up a tweet. Yeah, Keith put up a tweet talking about that lad's open letter to the Esk, basically saying it was a bit weird. And then this fella jumps on him and starts defending the Esk. And Keith's like, yeah, and I wasn't having a pop at the Esk. I saw about the letter. And this went on for hours. Yeah. And Dave chimed in. And then he starts like explaining the Esk to Dave, even though Dave literally produced him.
Explaining. There's the title.
I know. I was just thinking that. And then you didn't mean that, Matt, did you? That was just a mistake, wasn't it?
No, explaining, like mansplaining.
Oh, class, mate. That's absolute class. There's no wonder you've won that quiz 2 weeks on the run.
But yeah, in the midst of all of this nonsense, he called Keith a sideshow clown on someone else's podcast, which he just loved instantly. And then after a few hours, he finally realised his mistake, and I went, "All right, sorry, mate," and that was it.
It was that far down the line that I couldn't quite feel that, you know, that was an apology that he was saying, because I was that sick of hearing that, even just slagging Keith off when Keith didn't actually mean what he thought he did. And then when he found out that he did, I was like, I'm not even asked if you say sorry, mate. You've been a dickhead there for about 5 hours.
That's the sort of thing that you put in your bio, though, isn't it? That someone else. If you get called someone else's clown,
he did, didn't he? Keith put it in his bio.
Yeah. What?
Keith put it in his bio. Might still be there now.
It's got to be done. It's got to be. Anyone else been called that? Probably not. It's quite niche. Stuart's asked, if you were one of the Muppets, which one would you be?
That's a good question.
If you want, you can extend that out into the wider Jim Henson universe, talking Fraggle Rock, things like that. If you want.
I'd go for Fuzzy.
Oh,
Fuzzy Bear.
Fuzzy Bear.
Fuzzy Bear.
Yeah. Fuzzy Bear.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, Fuzzy. Sorry, Fuzzy Bear. Fuzzy. I was talking about the fake one. Yeah, Fozzie has a good laugh, and I think he's generally quite a fun character. Him, or for obvious reasons, Big Bird. Big Bird presents a bit of a nonsense, doesn't he? And it's just like not taken seriously. I'd like to include myself as that.
Is Jim Henson Sesame Street as well then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That widens the net then. I was going to say like the cookie monster for me, because I just love cookies. What can I say?
I reckon, Pete, you should just paint yourself blue. You do cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Fix the eyes more than it.
How were both of them a success? How were Sesame Street and the Muppets a success when they're basically the same thing?
Oh, they're totally different.
No, I know the characters are different, but it's the same thing, isn't it?
No, the original series were completely different. So Sesame Street was like
I know it's teaching kids and all that.
more of an educational thing with like real people in and like kids in and stuff like that. And yet the Muppets was just like a sort of a cabaret show backstage at a cabaret show. That's why they have famous people on because they all worked in the theatre.
Mm.
And that's what the
Fuck's
Muppets
sake,
was.
Les, so intelligent to say that.
I know what Dave on that subject. You know, like the way you had that rant at the start about Beto and all, and like you know, like those two old fellas who stand from the balcony just giving everyone shit.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah.
Is that Les and Dave?
That's the park, and that's us. Yeah.
What one's he in? Is he in the Muppets? The two half fellas, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they
who's
sit
the
with the
chef?
galaxy going and they just heckle everything.
The chef fella as well. He's like French or something.
Oh, he's Scandinavian, isn't he?
Isn't that the Dolmeal
How do
man?
you know all this, Les?
Gordy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
Muppets as a kid.
That's class. I tell you what, though, the Muppets Christmas Carol is a must-watch.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to see that at the Philharmonic last Christmas or the Christmas before, but we booked the wrong one. We thought it was the one with the orchestra, and we got there, and it was just on a big screen.
Was it?
Still a nice day out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best film they've made, that.
Oh, it's amazing.
Those two old fellas were the Marley and Marley, weren't they?
Marley,
Yeah.
Marley and Marley.
What animal would you call the big thing that comes back as one of the ghosts? The giant thing that comes in.
Oh, that
goes
thing.
to Christmas presents.
No, because there's a weird looking little girl, isn't there?
Yes, he's the ghost of Christmas past, isn't she?
Yeah. And who's the massive fella? He's just an absolute giant, and he's got a beard.
He looks like someone off Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, yeah. You don't see him on any of the other Muppet films, do you?
No,
he's just a giant.
Yeah, he does look like one of the things off Fraggle Rock that always wants to eat the Fraggles.
But he looks like he comes on a nice fella, but he's just far too big. Scary for kids, that.
Yeah, they made it specifically for that film, yeah.
Oh, Tiny Tim as well. Sad film, really, isn't it?
Oh, Tiny Tim with his little crutch. That's Matt at the moment.
Tiny Tim was on the Baby Frogs, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Robin, Kermit's nephew.
Oh my word, mate! You know what? We'll do the play. We'll do the play, and you can tell it.
If there's any Muppet questions come up with these quizzes, I'm your man.
Yeah.
Who was Rizzo as well? He was the rat, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, Rizzo the rat. Carol outstanding.
The best. Tell you, going off on a tangent here. The Muppet Treasure Island. He does. Who's he with on it? His best mate. Gonzo, is it?
Yeah.
Him and Gonzo decide to operate a travel business. Have you seen it?
You know what? I've never seen Treasure Island.
Oh, and on Treasure Island, they take like a load of rats with them who've gone out on their holidays. Put on a little boat for them going next to the fucking big ship and everything. It is so well played, and it's so good. And who's Silver on it? It's what's her name, isn't it? He's in a bad way these days. What's his name? The actor who plays him. You should know that, Les. Fuck's sake.
I told you I haven't seen it.
The fella who's in, he's the fella who runs the reception on Home Alone.
Tim Curry. Okay,
Tim Curry.
Yeah, so he plays John Joe Silver.
Oh.
John Joe Silver. What am I talking about?
Long John
Silver.
John Joe Silver.
John Joe Silver.
John Joe Silver's the Scouse version.
Yeah.
Muppet Silver Island.
Yeah.
Matt,
no more talk about the Muppets.
Just one more for Matt. If you could be any Muppet, who would you be?
I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
Count Von Count, surely.
The Count.
Yeah.
Oh, the Count, yeah.
Absolute belter. Right, that's all the questions, bar one.
Who would you be as the Muppet, though, Les?
I haven't answered, have I?
No.
I always quite liked Animal. Because he's about as far removed from me as you can get. So.
On his drums.
Or Zoot, the fella in the band who used to play the saxophone, the cool jazz guy.
Oh, yeah, he was cool, wasn't he? He didn't have any eyes.
No.
But the best Tash ever.
Yeah.
Well, who's the main fella there who had the gold tooth?
Dr.
What was
Teeth.
his name?
Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth.
Yeah.
Relatively simple, I should know that.
Jürgen Klopp, basically. Right, so to finish off, I just want to say thanks to Matt, thanks to Pete, thanks to Dave. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. But to finish off, we're going to finish off one from Maggie. Group stare out. Winner gets to claim one personal item from the losers as his prize. So everyone who's on camera is going to have a group stare out. Switch off now if you don't want to see this, or if you're on the podcast, you might as well.
Fucking hell.
Guys,
Dave, you need to put your camera on then.
I'm not putting any camera on here, mate. I'm lying on my bed now and I can't be asked.
Dave loses.
The ref.
Game
I'm
over.
happy.
yeah, go on, Dave. You can referee.
Well, hang on. I need to get the four of you on the one screen. Oh, I can do this now. Hang on.
Is this like a no blinking thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. This is great for people who listen to just the podcast, isn't it? Fucking hell, man.
Just told them to switch off.
No one said that we can't speak during it.
Hang on. So what is it?
We're just
Stare
going
out.
So basically, count us in, and we'll all stare at each other, and the first one to blink. Well, the last one to blink wins.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
We've only got 2 minutes.
I was going to say this has got to be the worst question this has ever had.
Oh, God, my eyes.
Who decided that a stare
Les
out
has
would be?
gone there. Les has gone. Matt and Pete.
My eyes are switching.
Don't they become watery?
It's good podcasting. Dave, we should do a commentary like the Tour de France.
Do me and Matt both get to choose something from Les's, or is it all winner takes all?
Oh shit! Yeah, you got yeah, winner takes all. Dave, what you having for tea tonight?
Well, I think we're having chippy. We're getting Chinese, mate. I like chicken satay. He's one of my favourite. So I'm going to get on that. What are you having, Les?
I think I blinked.
Pasta.
Fair play.
That's the winner.
Matt wins and appreciate the honesty from Pete because I didn't see that there.
Laura did say Matt would win. Matt, so yeah, you got to come round to ours and take one personal item.
I'll have Colin, please.
So what's that?
I'll have Colin.
Oh, you can't have Colin. Except Colin.
Who's Colin?
All right, then I'll have Jake.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
You can clean me house.
You need to say to Maggie there, by the way, not many others would be allowed to have that question that was so visual that we can't have it on a podcast. So fair play.
Well,
congratulations, Maggie.
There was a reason I kept it to the end.
Yeah.
I don't just throw this stuff together. Right. Cheers, lads. Thanks, everyone.